Guys, it's me again. I'm gonna show you paper snowflakes today. I know we've done this before, but I want to refresh your memory on some safety with your scissors and some good tips and tricks to making awesome sauce snowflakes. Okay, so I've got a piece of regular printer paper here. You can use notebook paper too. Don't be afraid to switch it up. In the past, we've done some texture rubbing on these papers before we've used them just to make them colorful and pretty. But I'm just going to do this, just show you how to make a square with your paper. All you need to do is take the corner and fold the corner down like this. Get this really straight right along here. The machines at the factory have cut this paper super straight, so this will make a really good square if you get it super straight when you fold it. Match up the edge of the paper, match up this edge here. You basically got like a perfect 90-degree angle there. Hold it down firmly and crease it real good. And then what you've got left over is this little bookmark sized paper. Hint, hint, bookmark. Make yourself a bookmark. Or cut smaller squares from that little piece of paper too. Cut just along here, cut this little extra piece off. I'm using my long scissors for that, just in the interest of saving a bit of time. And lay my blades down, close it up and lay it down. I only want to pick them up when I'm using them. There's one of my safety tips. Close the blades and lay them down. Only pick them up to use, and if you've got younger people around, try to use them out of reach of those younger people, okay? So there's my perfect square. Not only is it a perfect square, I also have done my first fold that I needed to do, which is a diagonal fold from corner to corner. You match up your corners and you fold it. Now, along this long fold right here, you're going to take that, and I like to put my thumb right in the middle of it and grab these two corners and really just pull that up, match them up the best you can. And that's how you get it to fold right where you want it to be folded. Try to match up your edges. All of your edges should match up the best way you can. Now you folded it twice. You could go ahead and start cutting shapes now. I like to fold it 3 times, okay? And you may have seen people do this differently, but I'm just showing you my favorite way to make snowflakes, okay? So again, I'm gonna lay my thumb in there and I'm gonna make it go exactly where I want it to. If I don't, the folds don't always fold exactly where you want them to. That's why I like to lay my thumb in there and kind of wrap it around, really get it right where I want it, level it up, and then push down, like press really hard. You can even see my fingers are kind of white at the tips because I'm pressing really hard, okay? Crease it really good. Here's a little trick you can use. I know you guys have one of these laying around. I like to press it down with my spoon. Once I've got it super straight, I just like to press it down like that, okay? Now, let's talk about where the inside, the middle of your snowflake, and the outside edge is. Here's how you know, okay? You know where the outside edges are because you can look out here and see 8 pages. That's because you've got 8 sections shaped like this, okay? Now I'm gonna take a pencil or whatever you wanna use. I'll just use this broken crayon because I seem to have left my pencil somewhere. All right, so you're gonna cut half of the shape that you want, okay? Now, out here on the outside edge, if I don't want my snowflake to be square when I open it up, I need to cut some sort of design across the outside edge, okay? The middle is where all of my folds come together to a point in the middle. And you guys, when we're in the classroom, it becomes really popular for me to cut the middle out into a star shape. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw a line that goes this way across my middle. make it kind of long and pointy, like so. Okay, then I can cut that off if I want to. That makes this next part kind of illustrates the next part for you. Then you're going to cut it from the other direction like this. You can cut the middle all the way out if you want to. Okay, now I'm going to cut on the outside of my little crayon line, because then you don't see a crayon line on my white snowflake. But that's okay if you do see that, especially if you did texture rubbing or something, because then you're going to have a nice colorful snowflake that's going to stand out. And you can put these on your Christmas tree or wherever you want. You can even write little notes on them. Okay, that's going to be pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to keep it folded up though until I'm all done. Then it'll be a surprise what's actually going to look like. Okay, so half of a heart. I'm going to cut on this side where this is a folded side. It's not the side that comes apart like this. Out here there aren't any folds. Where there's no folds at, and you can count your 8 pages, that's the outside edge. Okay, where there's 3 folds at and where there's 1 fold, this is where you want to cut your shapes. You also don't want your shapes really to touch each other. This is half of a heart. Okay, half of a heart. Over here I'll make half of a kind of just a long pointed oval. See how I left some space? This right here is where I stopped cutting for my little star in the middle. I need to leave that, okay? And these little bits that I'm cutting out are all going to get recycled, okay? Because you know I love to recycle. Okay, so a little bit over, I need to leave a little bit of folded space between my shapes. If I cut and I bump my shapes into each other, then my snowflake's just going to fall apart, and you'll either have something that's just super flimsy and you're not going to be able to do very much with it, or it's just going to be 8 pieces of paper. They'll be interesting pieces of paper, and don't feel discouraged by that, because you know you still tried, which is all I'm asking. I'm going to put a diamond shape here. I like to make my diamonds curve out a little bit. I left a little space between the tip of my heart and my diamond. I'm going to cut that out, and I'm going to cut this out. So this is going to go out, and this is going to go out. So is this. I'm going to cut this shape out too. That's going to make a nice long pointed oval, almost like one of those long Christmas decoration things. Okay, then I'll just put another diamond over here, because I really like diamond shapes. I'm not talking about the diamond you guys like to draw with all the facets. I'm talking about like a geometrical, like a geometric shaped diamond, okay? And again, it doesn't matter if my lines are sloppy, because I can just cut that out, okay? Leave space between your shapes. Fold space goes between your shapes. Now, remember, this is my outside edge, my 8-page outside edge, right? So what I'm going to do to make sure it's not a square when I open it up is I'm going to start at this tip. I'm going to go around the shapes I made. Do kind of a scalloped, like a cloud shape design, and just go around the shapes you made. Okay? So that shape that I cut out is going to make it where it's not a square when I open it up. Okay? Now I'm never going to cut towards myself. I'm going to be really careful that I'm cutting away from myself each time, and I'm very aware of where my fingers are the whole time. Okay, so my fingers are all the way over here, and I'm going to cut all the way over here. Since my folds are pretty strong, I'm able to cut way over here without worrying about going right towards my fingers. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm cutting on the outside edge of my crayon marks. Again, you don't have to worry about that. I've got 2 fingers here in the bigger hole and my thumb in the smaller hole. And I'm using that strong part of my scissors, which is this part that's close to the blade. You guys, we've talked a lot about this in the classroom, how these scissors are really strong and they fit your hand better. but these scissors are just as strong because of the leverage that's provided. So if you'd rather have little scissors, that's just fine. I prefer little scissors for small areas because I don't have as much blade sticking out, and I'm just using this part. If I was using these scissors, I would still be using this part of the blade. So I'm going to use these small ones because I don't have a lot of extra blade hanging out. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to cut this heart and go this way. Oh, tricky, tricky. Sometimes you can cut these things too where you, it's kind of awkward for you to get your right or your left, depending on whether you're right or left-handed. I am right-handed. Alas, I am right-handed. I have always admired left-handed people, but I happen to be right-handed, so oof. Anyway, there's just a tiny bit of folded space there, but it's there, I promise. And when I open this up, you can, ooh, ah, and I won't even hear you because I'm like on a video, but I will get it. I will understand. I will feel the love, you guys. I totally will. And I'm gonna still keep my fingers away from where I'm cutting. You see I'm moving my hand around and I'm moving the paper. Ooh, that's close right there. Yowza. That is super close. I'm gonna use just the tip of my scissors to cut that to a point and then turn and come back around. When you have all these arcs together like this, it's called scallops. You're cutting a scallop design, like a cloud shape is what scallops are, basically a bunch of arcs that are together end to end. Okay, I cut very close to my thumb that time. That was scary. Okay, and all of these little pieces will be in my little recycle bin. I like to keep an empty tissue box around when I'm cutting snowflakes, because that way I can stick all these tiny bits of paper in the empty Kleenex box that I'm also going to be recycling. So that helps me out quite a bit. I'm going to put them right over here. I actually have an empty tissue box over there that I'm using. I've been using it. So this looks kind of funny, but remember, I've got 8 sections. So here's our little fraction lesson. There's 8. That's 8 pieces. This is, since I unfolded it, now I've got 1/4 of my snowflake. I'm gonna unfold it again. Now I've got 1/2 of my snowflake. I'm gonna ignore that ringing phone. And then that's half of it, right? Then I've got the whole thing, one whole snowflake when I open it up. Okay, you can put these on your window. They look really good on your window when your Christmas lights are on and they kind of shine and give them a nice look. And they're really fun to make, you guys. So make as many as you want with your parents' permission, of course, because you need to use scissors. And I'm gonna make some more. I like to use this wrapping paper, especially the ones that have the nice grid on the back, so I don't have to double think. I can cut a square really easily from this wrapping paper. I've got these different kinds of wrapping paper over here that have like printing on both sides. You can use fancy stuff or plain stuff, it doesn't matter. This has a bunch of snowflakes on it, so I'm gonna make a snowflake out of this snowflake paper, right? So I'll be seeing you guys. Have fun. Have a wonderful, wonderful holiday, and I'll be showing you some more stuff to make next week. And I appreciate you guys so much. Bye-bye.